Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's BDL44 coming at you with another video. So, it is what it is. When you have a situation where people are trying to make something happen that the higher ups don't want to happen, you're gonna have situations where you your community or um, your group will be infiltrated, um, and they will come up with very manipulative and effective ways to attack the right parts of your brain that will try to force you into walking away from what it is they want you to walk away from. That's not limited to anything. These are practices that have been done since the beginning of time. We're seeing that here. I believe we're seeing that here in the ape movement, the GME AMC movement. It's a lot of confusion, a lot of chaos, a lot of discourse, people not agreeing with one another about various topics that have all dropped the same week that we've had the hardest red week since this process has begun. It's been the worst week since the process has begun, and we got all this chaos going on at the same time. So let me try to just basically tell you guys what I'm seeing. First of all, they got this lawyer situation. So I guess they're trying to get the apes, and they meaning whomever's putting this together. They're trying to get the apes to hire this specific lawyer. They've created a GoFundMe for everyone, all of retail who wants to be involved, to kind of send money in to try to, get the legal fees together for this lawyer so he can go and kind of see whatever he can do, which I think is a good idea, but it's not executed in a way that's really going to get you the type of results that you're hoping for. Um, we're probably going to need more than one lawyer, and being that big business is involved, it probably should be one of the whales trying to pay for this. You don't, because I'm always skeptical of asking the wide public task to give me money or to pour money into a specific thing. I'm always going to be wary of that, even when it makes sense to do so, even when it's the right thing to do. I'm still kind of step back or standoffish as it pertains to that, because it's just so many stories of people being coerced out of their money and stuff like that, to where, like, now something like this looks like it could totally be there's room for the money not to go where it's supposed to. There is an environment created by this circumstance that could be compromised. You know what I'm saying? So I would not be sending any of my money into the GoFundMe. I don't think that that's the right decision for myself. Nah. If we're going to get a lawyer, we might as well just consider putting together a real team. Little amounts of money that we're asking for, you're gonna need millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars to fight who you need to fight to get what you're trying to get done here. So that it looks like now we have a situation where someone could walk away with the money. So I'm not doing that. And the other thing that's going on right now is it seems like Trace Trades and a few other guys have come together and are backing or throwing, I'm not certain who's throwing this, but a huge festival celebration for all the apes to kind of come together and just get to know each other, or just have a day together in a nice place where they can have a beer and everybody can come together and just have a nice little festival in the summertime. Sounds like a wonderful thing, but first of all, we don't need to be celebrating. We haven't gotten to our destination. We are in the middle of a war with the hedge funds or whomever is behind this thing truly. We are coming off the week that we just had, which I said was the worst week we've had since it started. And there are a lot of people who haven't made money. Not everybody jumped in at $5, $8, $10, $13. Some people jumped in the 50 range, 60 range, 70 range. Those people are out of money right now. They're not in it. So what do they have to celebrate for? And most importantly, depending on how far they've invested, maybe they shouldn't be spending money on anything other than whatever they need to be spending their money on. Certainly not lawyers, and certainly not festivals. I listened to Trey's point of view, in his video when he was talking about it. But to me, he just sounded like somebody who was a bit naive about how he could be screwed in this situation. And I understand that Trey he's full of life. He's full of passion about what he's talking about. He means well, but he's still a young guy, man. He's in his 20s, and there's a lot to learn about the signs to pay attention to when somebody's screwing you, or understanding the entire ecosystem of the situation you're in when you're at war. You cannot afford to lead and be naive. Those two things do not go well together. Naivete and leadership should not be. A leader's responsibility is to eliminate all fear and doubt in this situation, and most importantly, eliminate anything that could create the environment of fear and doubt. And when you try to throw a party before people have any reason to celebrate, what you're creating is the environment for fear and doubt. When things don't take off the way they're supposed to, or when we don't get paid right away for whatever reason, or whenever a million different things can go wrong here, and we're celebrating. And of course, something like this costs money, so guess what? Everybody has to pay a certain amount to get there, and it's not cheap. So the environment for which more corruption and more money can be funneled into places that has no business going is very, very possible. Now, here's the thing that I know. This is just how it is when in my skull. I walk into a room, the AMC Ape room. I'm walking into that room. I know that those who are mad at the people in this room see them as stupid. That's what I know. They look at retail, they look at the apes as dumb money, dumb people who are willing to gamble all of their money into something that isn't really, in their minds, a good investment. Based on the particulars, based on the fact that we don't follow the squiggly lines and all the fundamentals and stuff like that, and more so are trying to play this as a squeeze play. They look at us as dumb money. They look at us as people who are trying to take chances, people who are trying to get rich quick, people who don't have a whole lot, who are trying to get something for nothing. Most of us in their minds are lazy, unintelligent, not structured properly, don't know how to save, don't know how to spend, probably going to run out of money before they do in this war. They're looking at us that way, and they got to figure out how to make that happen. So if they can coerce us into, you don't really have to know exactly what a person's doing. You just got to be able to understand how they can get to the point they're trying to get to. That's what I've learned. You don't have to necessarily know a man's plans when it comes to war and stuff like this. You just got to know where they're trying to go and the several ways to try to get there. That's what you need to understand. And what I'm saying is, if you're trying to take $30 trillion from me, I'm going to spend all I can to hire the very best professionals psychologically to give me the very best plan to get your ass off me. That's what I'm going to do. If I have all the money in the world and you're trying to take it from me, I'm going to do everything I can to get you away from me before just ultimately crashing all the way out and killing everybody, because you're not taking $30 trillion from me. Do you understand what I'm saying? $30 trillion? You're never going to get that money. So what I understand is the people who are in position to try to protect that money, they're at a disadvantage, because the way this situation is set up, there's nothing they can really do. You see what I'm saying? As to where they would move heaven and earth under normal circumstances, this is the one time where they just kind of have their hands tied behind their back. They can't really do nothing but watch us take what they have. But the formula that they have to try to figure out, even though it doesn't seem to be possible, is how do we get those people to want to let go of those shares? How do we get those people to impulsively sell those shares, regardless if they regret it later, regardless if the initial FUD that we send them is obviously bullshit? We're trying to get as many stupid people, remember, we see them as stupid, as many stupid people to impulsively sell their shares. And we're going to try to approach them as they are perceived in our minds, which is stupid. And everything that they've done is to try to attack us from the point of view of the apes need defense, legal defense, and they don't have it. So what can we do? Let's put some stupid lawyer in there and try to suck as much money out of the people who don't have the money, because they know that apes of a certain success level, or apes of a certain business acumen, are going to look at something like this and laugh it off. They're not interested in trying to shake the people off they know they can't shake. They're trying to get the dumbest of us, to want to go party before there's something to celebrate, to want to hire one lawyer when you need about 8. To be confused about something so simple as just hold your shares and wait for it to happen. They have to create some type of chaos to create the environment for which what they need possible can happen. So even though they can't get their hands from tied around their back, they can't get their hands from behind their own backs to stop us from doing this, what they can do is use all the Jedi mind tricks they have and all of the money and all their resources and all their friends, because they have plenty of them too, to come up with very, very, very smart ways of taking money away from stupid people. So what we have to do and think and understand is that we are stupid in their minds, so we need not behave that way. We need to do things differently. We need not celebrate just because we feel like it and we're tired and we're rusty, or rather worn out by the length of how this has dragged on. They know that. They made it drag on this long. They created the environment for which you to be tired so that you would want to party. They created that. You wouldn't even think about wanting to party if this thing is squeezed 3 months ago. You would be already in a space where you already had a party. They wanted you to get frustrated to this point so that they can throw in this plan. This plan. How many have they thrown at you since this? Look, I've been in this thing since January. You've heard me make a lot of videos. They've thrown a lot at us. They've pumped up other stuff around the situation, told us what we had wasn't crap, and then everything that they pumped up failed. Every last thing they pumped up failed. They've thrown FUD at us repeatedly every day. Some of that stuff didn't even backed up by facts. They flat out lied to us in their FUD. Because again, it doesn't matter if the smartest of us understand that those are laughable lies. They need the stupid of us to sell quickly. Now, even if the stupid person looks back at it the second time and says, damn, that was dumb as hell, I shouldn't have sold. It's too late. They got what they needed from you because it's about impulsively selling. So the FUD doesn't even have to be well thought out. It just has to paint a picture that makes you say, oh my God, I got to get my money out of here quickly. That's why the FUD is so simple and stupid. They don't have to put a lot of heart and thought into it. They don't have to really convince you. They just need you to walk away from that thing ready to sell. They're used to being able to control the entire market this way. They're used to people actually responding accordingly. Okay, the stock is bleeding out. I look on the Motley Fool. They're telling me it's bad. They're telling me somewhere else to go to put my money. That's all I need to know. Let me get my money out of here because there's a million plays. There's always a million plays. That's why you never get hung up on one. See, that's what they're counting on. They're counting on that. That because there's a million different things you can put your money in, you're not just going to stick around and continue to go toward an AMC. Now when you got this, all these million different options, so they can continue to apply this same basic FUD tactic to every situation but this one, and be effectively able to at least shake off enough people who don't believe in whatever it is they've bought. And they can continue this process that as they go along, pushing the money in directions that they want it to go and keeping it from places that they don't. This is what they do. This is how the whole thing works. This is how the entire economy of the world flows. They are the gatekeepers of where it does go and doesn't go, and this is how they do it. And we have found a way into their safe. A safe that's supposed to be bulletproof. So long as they continue to apply this stupid FUD that without the advent of social media and devices is a perfect plan. It works without this. But because of this, plan don't work. And they don't have a plan that works yet with the devices. They haven't figured out how to keep us in line. They don't know how. They're about to lose all their money. They're panicking and they're pulling out all the stops. But here's what I know. This is what I'm certain of. This has dragged out for 6 months. Everything that they've been doing has been tracked by us. We aren't stupid. We aren't. We're not overly educated as a group because a lot of us are poor people who've been deprived of certain privileges that would allow us to have a free-flowing life. Obstacles, things of that nature, different norms that pull us away from our education. But what they don't understand is that this is a community of people who have now come together. Meaning, you got people like that and people who are not like that coming together and having conversations that have never been had before. Realizations that never been had before. Perspectives shared because we have a common interest for the very first time. Reasons to talk when we never had any. So now we can tell them about our resolve being poor and why they shouldn't sell. Because we can stand here in poverty next to them and say, yo, you're not broke like us. You're not in a position to not know what we don't know. And we're still applying faith in this movement. And if you can hold, we can hold. And the rich people are saying, look, don't step out of this play because patience is how this works. Don't think for a second that your life is going to remain poor if you remain in this play and believe in the long-term aspects of holding your shares. Because whether it be this particular play or another play, the way to make money is to be patient and be strong-minded. That's what they're telling us. So you see, even though there are some dumb money apes here, we're having conversations with the smart money apes too. So your plans, not working. You got people like myself who are telling people, hey, check this out. They're creating the environment for corruption. They're creating the environment for FUD. They're creating the environment for impulsive selling. Don't buy it. If you want to go to I was going to call it the Fire Festival because that's what it feels like. And for those who know about the Fire Festival, look it up. There's 2 documentaries out there to tell you all about the Fire Festival. The Ape Festival, I'm not saying it's the Fire Festival. All I'm saying is I'm getting Fire Festival vibes. That's all I'm telling y'all. It could be a very good thing. I believe in what Trey's talking about. I think Trey has proven to us a million times that he's behind this movement, that he's about getting everybody on board. But I understand that Trey is going through a lot and he wants to party. He's a 20-something-year-old man who wants to party. He's had a lot of stress, had a lot of things going on. He wants to come out and touch the community. He wants to go out and see who it is that he's rooting for and who he's fighting for and who he's leading. He wants to touch the people. And I think that's a good thing. But we got to find more organic and productive ways of doing that, Trey. We definitely do not want to walk into a trap. And what I also understand is when you got $30 trillion on the line, another thing that you have to try to do is try to back those who are in a position to take that money from you into a legal hole. And we know, we as apes are not colluding. But if we start doing things together, like going to festivals and pouring our money into lawyer fees together, yes, there is a collusion case to be had at that point. That's why I won't be involving myself in anything like that. They're creating the environment for collusion to be questionable. That's all it is. The environment is created. Now, whether or not you can be proven as someone who's colluding in doing something like this or not, I do not know. But what I'm saying is, now we got the environment for it. Now the chessboard is set up for the pieces to move into collusion, into that space, because of what people are agreeing to do here with this festival and with this lawyer stuff and anything else that makes it so that others come together to have conversations in agreement. Backing yourself into a corner, apes. Don't buy that. That's a hedge plan, and you're playing right into it. So understand, there's nothing they won't try, man. There's nothing they won't try. They used to be able to get their way for a long period of time, and this is supposed to be a plan that does not fail. This is supposed to be a bulletproof window that they got their money behind. The only way this works is because we found something that we weren't supposed to find. It's that simple, apes. It's that simple. There's no other way to their money but through this. And they need us to sell, period. And they're going to try to do everything they can, including frustrating us to no end, to make that happen. Best thing to do, in my opinion, trust yourself, stand still, hold your shares. Pay into it when you feel like paying into it, if that's what you want to do. But what you already own, hold on to. That's not financial advice. That's how you play this game. That's how you move your chess pieces. You know what I mean? It's not deeper than that. So that's what I got to say, man. No Fire Festival for me. No Ape Festival for me. I don't like nothing that has to do with celebrating early. I'm a sports fan. I know better. You don't do it. You don't do it. Have you ever seen Swaggy P in a 3-point shot and he shot it and he turned around with his hands up and it bricked? Yeah, no, don't do it. That's a mistake every single time. Something called humility that we need to understand is important. Who we're fighting against is those who lack it. That's why they're so caught off guard, and that's why they're so far out of touch with seeing the fruit and letting this happen. In seeing the fruit of not creating a bigger hole for themselves. They've allowed greed to cloud their better judgment, and fear of loss of power to cloud their better judgment, to effectively protect themselves fully. They would rather kamikaze the situation than to properly manage it. Don't start behaving like them. You see where this is leading them. Yeah, they've lasted this long, but they're about to die. Greed is why. Greed is why. Naked shorting should have never been taken. That should have never happened. Shorting is not a problem. Shorting positions, it effectively cleans the market. It cleanses the market of bad companies, creates a better ecosystem for us to put our money into. Because if there's a bunch of bad companies out there that we're pouring our money into, we're going to get kicked around. Shorting actually cleans the room. But just like I said, the analogy in a previous video, when the vacuum starts eating stuff that you don't want eaten up, it starts eating into your rug. It starts cutting into your appliances. Starts eating it, it cuts a hole into your shoe. Now the cleaning device no longer cleans, it's become a problem. And that's what we understand. They think we don't understand that, but we do. Naked shorting is when the vacuum starts eating stuff it shouldn't. Honest shorting is fine. But when you start using fake shares, saturating the market with fake shares, pulling money away from real people, it's pouring into things that don't exist. Do I need to tell you how wrong that is? Ethically? Or where the money isn't going when this happens? How the trickle-down effect goes into your household and into that neighborhood or away from that neighborhood and away from those people who need it? Yes, this is what happens. That's where it starts. Why this person was laid off, why that person doesn't have a job anymore, why that community can't get this dollar, why that situation wasn't funded properly, why your tax dollars are going there instead of there. It's because where the money is initially coming from, it's being coerced and pushed into place, not coerced, but being funneled into places it shouldn't. And this is the way that it's being done. Right in front of you. It's just laundering. That's all it is. We know what it is. It's laundering. There's a lot of money isn't accounted for the black market and things of that nature. There's a lot of money isn't accounted for different backdoor moves that are being done all over the world, and they got to find a way to wash that money. They do it in our stock market, yo. It's obvious. That's what it is. So, if you want to sell your shares, or if you think AMC is stupid money, or you think this is just about a squeeze and we're all trying to get rich quick and all that, some of us are. But others, well, think like me, and others think with even more information than I have. And they're all in. They're not going away. Neither am I. And you can't shake us because our minds are made up. Shares are already purchased. You're not getting those unless we want you to have them. There's nothing they can do. With a person like myself, nothing you can do. Literally. And I believe there's probably at least 2.5 million people just like me. There's literally nothing they can do. I'm going to stand still regardless. I didn't sell on the 27th. I didn't sell this week. Or the 28th of January, rather. When the thing dropped all the way to $7, I didn't sell at $5.50. I doubled up at $5.50. What you going to do to shake me off? You can't. Only thing can shake me off is me. Life. Something within a time frame may help your cause. Other than that, nothing can help you. So yeah, keep on doing what you're doing. Keep infiltrating into these ape communities. Do whatever you're gonna do. Put the FUD out there. You'll shake some people. It's enough of us who ain't gonna understand. Enough of us are just. It's enough of us. But the community's growing every day, and more people are getting hip to what's really going on. So it's just a matter of time. Oh, and one more thing. How long do you think this is gonna go? We've known that this thing is on the verge of popping for months. One of these weeks it's going to. One of these weeks, all hell's gonna break loose. And a lot of people who don't have anything are gonna have a whole lot overnight. Stay humble, my friends. My name is BDO44. I'm out.